let me show you this sweet little depiction of this.
Police have arrived.
100% breastfed, straight from the source.
Drug-free pull birth, dolphin-assisted.
Oh. Well, you push. We cuddle.
Yeah, cuddling is bonding.
Helicopter mom, 12 o'clock.
Must be mommy's day off.
Oh, that's sexist. What? You wanna go or something? No.
Oh, disposable diaper. Well, apparently we don't care about the environment.
Oh, look, it's Crunchy Granola Mom.
It's getting real.
I wonder what it's like being a part-time mom.
Ooh. Stay-at-home moms.
I wonder what they do all day. Mani-pedis.
Looks like some moms are too lazy to breastfeed.
Someone came with their nipples blazing.
Oh yeah, well I pup during conference calls.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's not all about the breasts.
Actually, yeah, it is.
No, it's not. No.
It's about the breasts.
It's about
But it's
the
not.
You want a piece of this? Oh, you want a piece of this? Well, I'll show you some screen-free parenting.
Bring it.
Nibble up, ladies. It's go time, I think. Yeah, go.
I'll be back.
Let's do this! Oh, you guys, gosh. Here's what I love about this. There is so many ideas about how to do this right, see? And there really is no one right way. You can do all of those things or none of those things, and at the end of the day, what your babies just want to know is that somebody's crazy about them. Yeah? Here's what guides the work that I do. I spend a lot of time away from my own babies because I believe this to the core of me. This is a quote by Marianne Williamson, and she's written a number of books that I love, one of which is called A Return to Love. She's a Christian writer, and this is one of her older works, but this is a quote from there, and it says, "There is no single effort more radical in its potential for saving the world than a transformation of the way in which we raise our babies." See, what I love about that is this word transformation. I believe that she has it right when she says we need to get back to the old days. Yeah? And here's why. What do you hear in Calgary these days when people say stuff like, kids these days are what? Entitled. That's my personal favorite. Kids these days are entitled. Kids these days are what? Clueless. Kids these days are stressed, anxious. I hear disrespectful all the time. People say to me, my dad used to just look at me, and I would know the plan. Now I look at my kid like this, and he goes, "What?" Disrespectful little buggers, see? And then we try to come up with the reasons why, right? It's the Grand Theft Auto 5, it's the screen time, it's the friggin' no fluoride. That's it. We try to figure out why that is. And I gotta tell you, I've been doing this for a while now, and in this country I've assessed and treated over 1,000 kids, and I have never, not one time, met a bad kid. Not one time. I've never not one time met a kid who didn't have hopes and dreams and ideas, had the capacity to have empathy and be kind, not once. I've also not met a parent who has set out to be a bad one. Yeah? The biggest difference between then and now is this word called disconnect. See? And why that becomes so important is the only way we matter, we learn if we matter, is in the context of relationship and connection. Yeah? How we learn some very important things like something called emotional regulation. If you own a kid, the one job you have before you launch them little buggers is to teach them emotional regulation, which means how not to lose your mind. Yeah? You understand? If you understand how not to lose your mind, by the time you head off out of your parents' house, you're going to be okay. That's the one thing, see? The only way I learn emotional regulation is in the context of relationship. You cannot teach emotional regulation on a whiteboard or a handout or on writing lines over and over again. The only way you learn it is by a relationship. That is the biggest change between then and now. Think about the square footage of the house in which your grandfather was raised. Think about the square footage of the house in which we raise our babies. What's the difference? Like 2,000 square feet. That alone makes a massive difference in how much time in the run of a day you interact with somebody. Yeah? My dad had 2 brothers, and they lived in a 2-bedroom house from the time the boys were born until Dad was in grade 10, yeah? So you had to figure your stuff out. I heard the Catholic, she's like, stuff. Stuff is what you want to say. That's actually not what I want to say, but anyway. You had to figure your stuff out at the end of the night because you're like, I hate you too, okay, good night, right? There was the necessity to figure out how to repair relationship, huh? It might have not always been pretty. What happened in times of distress in our small communities? Right? When there was a loss, everybody got in the car and we went over with food and any musical instrument we owned and we sang our way through it. And the babies watched while we repaired and we mourned. We don't do that anymore. Not to the same degree. Yeah? They also didn't have iPods and iPhones. They didn't have TV, see? One of the biggest disconnectors we own is this, and we all have one. Yeah? This becomes so safe to disconnect, see, because this guy doesn't talk back to you. In fact, you can program it to say nice things if you want. It doesn't give you negative feedback unless you sink into it, yeah? This becomes a much better place to go when you don't want to deal with anything else. Yeah? It's safer because it doesn't reject you to the same degree. So if I want to post on Facebook, my dog died, I'm very sad, my hope is I'm going to get 67 likes and a couple of, like, virtual hugs, you know? But here's the problem with that. It's very different, and it takes so much more time for me to drive to your house and say, do you have 5 minutes? Can I bring the kids over? I just want to have a coffee. Things are not going okay today, you know? Because what do people say today when you ask them how they're doing? I'm fine. Yeah, because we don't want to, nobody wants to appear that things are bad. Did you check Facebook or Instagram lately? Everyone looks like they got their shit together. They do not. Sorry, Chief. They do not. They do not. It is a lie. They are liars. So don't base your whole worthiness thing on that. So we say we're fine. The other thing we like to say is we are crazy busy, and we wear it like a badge of honor. Yeah? The busier we are, that appears to be something we want to be. Yeah? We're crazy busy. I say it all the time. And you know what it's code for? Disconnect. Yeah? You can be busy. You can have lots of things on your plate, but there's a very different feel to it when you're connected and you do it. When you walk into your house at the end of every day and make eye contact with the people you love. Yeah? Not, whose boots are these? Where's the, where? You're not at practice. Why is supper not, do you understand? We have so much that we're worried about, next, because it is all in this very disconnected way. That's how we've come to understand our worthiness, yeah? The really sad part about that is that one generation, we have went from super connected, we had no opportunity but to learn how to repair relationship and grieve and mourn, to being significantly disconnected with no capacity to learn how to stay connected. We missed that step, see? If I look at my grandfather, yeah, he literally plowed the fields by hand. Yeah, and before he died at 88, sent me an email. Like, not the day he died. It wasn't like, peace out, you know, but like, he was learning about emails in the general time of his death, all right? So that's a massive, massive shift in 88 years, yeah? And today, our babies have so many opportunities. You know, at the Children's Hospital, I can have kids, you know, who diagnosed with terminal illness, who we can take virtually to Disneyland. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful opportunity. Your kids who walk into their classrooms tomorrow can connect to China and see what kids there are doing in their classrooms today. That's amazing. There's nothing wrong with that. The capacity to stay connected to those babies is what's going to create worthy, beautiful citizens. We are panicked now, particularly in the United States of America, that it is a gun problem. That it is, and the AK-47 is not like an awesome choice. I can give you a little on that. But it is not about stuff. It is about disconnect. Yeah?